Welcome. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Bassi. The need to strengthen Nigeria's healthcare system and increase budgetary allocation to health has again resonated as guests on NTA's flagship program believe that Nigeria can get to that stage where access and affordable health care will be a right and not a privilege. Aisha Obali reports.
Health experts have continued to decry the poor state of health care services in the country. Reports from across the country speaks of obsolete health facilities, shortage of qualified personnel, poor hospital governance, as well as lack of commitment to duty by staff.
If from this day onwards we are committed individually at our different niches and at governmental level, local government, states and federal, we have the means. If, for instance, the least requirement of the World Health Organization and the Abuja Declaration of all heads of governments in Nigeria, 2001, that at a minimum of 50% of our national budget should be devoted to health.
In finding solutions to the menace of medical tourism, experts called on government to create an enabling environment where the private sector will play a greater role in the nation's healthcare delivery system.
And I think it should be developed. Private players must be allowed into the insurance field because the NHIS, anytime we get to discuss it, has fault lines.
Guests on the program submitted that Nigeria has the capacity to provide world-class health facilities to her citizens at affordable cost and stem the tide of medical tourism.
Only subsidize the health or even pay for the health of people without with good planning. Several billions of naira is budgeted every year for health and is pushed into the government hospitals, and yet the return is not as encouraging. So government can push this government through an intermediary that will be paying the private hospitals.
The guest, however, said halting medical tourism may be difficult, but with government's resolve to commit fully to the sector, the situation of healthcare delivery can be turned around. In Abuja, Aisha Obali, NTA News.
The presidency has emphasized that the vice president remains the confidant and the closest advisor to the president and has attended all the president's engagements all through the week, with the exception of 2. This is in reaction to claims in some sections of the media that the vice president is being sidelined with the return of President Buhari. Musa Abubakar has details of the statement by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu.
In a statement signed by President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu indicates that alleging that President Buhari signs memos brought to him by government officials or so-called cabal without reading them immediately cast doubts on the credibility of the unnamed sources, adding that President Buhari is working day and night to steer Nigeria through trying times. There are important issues in the hands of government, such as poverty reduction, turning around the economy, creating jobs, fighting corruption and terrorism, among other challenges. The statement also reads, "It is appropriate at this time to dispel the false notion that anyone has tried to undermine the vice president when he acted in the absence of the president." As an acting president, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo enjoyed the support of the Villa staff and the entire cabinet. Otherwise, he will not have succeeded and earned the praise of the president. Garba Shehu welcomed journalists with questions to ask concerning the president and the Villa administration to approach both the special advisor Femi Adesina, Lau Akande, or himself.
Away from Abuja now. ECOWAS Parliament is to send a delegation to Sierra Leone to commiserate with the government and people of the country over the mudslide which claimed hundreds of lives. Speaker of the Parliament, Mustafa Siselo, said this while declaring open the extraordinary session of the institution in Lomé. Joseph Orok was there.
Although there is no provision in the Parliament's statutory duties to give financial assistance to ECOWAS countries, the Speaker said it is incumbent of institutions like the Parliament to be concerned with the humanitarian need of the people. He said the Parliament will consider and adopt amounts of money which will be given to Sierra Leone to assist the country to ameliorate the challenges associated with the mudslide. Some parliamentarians speak more on this.
We have also received delegations from almost every country of West Africa, of ECOWAS, and most of them, if not all, have sent donations and gifts to help alleviate the situation.
Meanwhile, ad hoc committee of the Parliament at the extraordinary session presented the 2018 budget of the institution.
It is proposed that for the entire community, the total income will be 268,973,259.75 units of account. This is what we had in 2017 of 267,943,662.71 units of account.
We'll have to consider the preliminary draft of the 2018 budget prepared by the ad hoc committee established by the Speaker of the Parliament.
The Speaker informed parliamentarians that Morocco has formally applied to join ECOWAS Parliament. Though the request is yet to be approved, a delegation will soon be sent to Morocco to find out why the country wants to join ECOWAS again. In Lomé, Togo, Joseph Orok, NTA News.
And back home, the Nigeria police force have declared as false and unsubstantiated the allegation of bribery and cornering of 10 billion naira monthly internally generated revenue against the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, by the chairman, Senate Committee on Navy, Issa Hamad Misau. In a press conference, Force Public Relations Officer Jimoh Moshood urged Nigerians to disregard the allegations. Ronke Kolawole reports.
Making reference to a newspaper publication where he said Senator Issa Hamad Misau stated series of allegations against the IGP Ibrahim Idris, the Force PRO Jimoh Moshood notes that the force is not a revenue-generating agency and that posting and transfers are routine administrative tools based on merit and competence of officers. The PPRO discloses that Senator Hamad Misau remains a police officer on the rank of DSP with staff number 57300, who absconded on the 24th of September 2010 when posted to Niger State Police Command.
The retirement letter presented to the journalist by DSC Mohammed Issa Ama is suspiciously forged and dubiously obtained. He has pending disciplinary matter. His file was marked PDM, pending disciplinary matter. And that is why, even if there's any application from him for resignation, it will not be processed.
In a reaction, Senator Issa Hamad Misau from Bauchi's Central Senatorial District presented documents to confirm he officially and lawfully disengaged from the Nigeria Police Force in 2010. He said he directed his allegations against the police and not on the personality of the IGP, Ibrahim Idris.
He has no right to declare me deserter if police are giving more than 50,000 policemen are assigned to oil companies, oil servicing company, or hotel, banks, private individuals. And every month they make payment for those services. And the allegation is, where is the money going? This is what we are talking about.
He claimed he had the right under the Whistleblower Act to expose suspicious persons or bodies, but that it is left for the anti-corruption agencies to verify. Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education has identified inadequate monitoring and supervision as the major cause of poor execution of universal basic education projects in Kebbi State. This was part of the observations of the committee when it inspected UBE projects in 21 primary schools in the state. Ignatius Nkwo was part of the team and now reports.
Between 2005 to date, Kebbi State is said to have assessed 10.1 billion naira from the Universal Basic Education Fund. But what the Committee on Basic Education found out while on a 3-day inspection tour to the state is not satisfactory.
I have my own reservation about some contractors because, like I pointed out yesterday, by the name of certain or some of these companies and maybe the articles of memoranda of some of these companies by registration with CAC, they don't have any business with construction.
It's already we have started taking action on those contractors.
The committee observed that most of the ongoing projects were not adequately monitored as old classroom blocks were left to dilapidate.
The 3-4 years result, I have read, of the northern states, really. Kebbi has been performing, poorly because it has been coming, I think, 32nd.
Chairman of the committee, Representative Zachary Mohammed, at a meeting with the Deputy Governor of the state, advised State Universal Basic Education to ensure that standard is maintained, while award of contracts should be devoid of politics.
The very projects are flagship projects that are meant to be taken care of, because if we don't get it right, the basic level, we will not get it right very well.
I want to assure you that we'll do whatever it takes to correct all the observations you put forward.
From Brendan Kebbi in Kebbi State, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Towards revitalizing Nigeria's economy through cocoa production, key players have been urged to join hands to improve production, processing and marketing of non-export commodities. President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, made the pronouncement at the opening of the first International Cocoa Summit in Abuja. Musa Abubakar reports.
With the discovery of oil, cocoa is one of the major cash crops driving Nigeria's economy. The dwindling fortunes of crude oil in recent times and moves to diversify the economy necessitated a renewed effort to bring back the glory of cocoa, which has the potentials to promote inclusive development. The summit, in line with the federal government's agricultural transformation agenda, seeks to engage partners on actionable strategy for sustainable cocoa production with emphasis on research and development, as well as engaging new technologies.
The initiative represents in itself the innovative Nigerian spirit and determination to set our country on the path of true economic diversification.
Create a platform for players in the industry to exchange ideas, network and acquaint themselves with each other, and also to avail themselves of new technologies and investment opportunities, as well as set a roadmap for sustainable development of the cash crop.
We are open to all forms of discussion for us to be able to arrive at a wonderful document.
Research and development should be the foundation and driving force behind the National Cocoa Plan of Nigeria.
The way forward for Nigeria to achieve sustainable development, inclusive growth, as well as serve as a bulwark for its economy against the vagrancies of oil market.
Contributors are expected to brainstorm on recent trends and outlook for cocoa products and improving market efficiency for it.
Observers believe that the summit not only provide avenue to boost cocoa production, but also focus on value-added change, which has the capacity to reduce unemployment and generate the needed income for the growth and development of the country. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Thank you, Musa. You're watching Nationwide. Security beefs up in the Nigerian ports as contraband worth millions of naira is discovered and seized by the Customs Service. Ademola brings us details of this and other stories making the rounds in Lagos and environs. It's over to you, Ademola. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Lydia. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to Lagos. As the Nigeria Customs Service continues to intensify its anti-smuggling operations within the borderlines and other catchment areas, the results have already begun to manifest. Customs Federal Operations Unit Zone A, Ikeja, says it has intercepted contraband goods worth over 783 million naira. The seized contraband include India hemp, poultry and pharmaceutical products. Jane Ojuko has the details.
The Controller of Federal Operations Unit, Zone A Ikeja, Mohammed Obar Garuba, while inspecting the seized consignment, explained that the 783 million naira worth of contraband goods were as a result of 54 seizures. He said they were intercepted due to various reasons, ranging from false declaration to smuggling of goods that contravene federal government policies on importation, such as foreign parboiled rice and automobiles.
We have used tires, we have Indian hemp, we have medicaments and other general merchandise. What will happen to them that appropriate sanction will be applied to anybody who is found wanted for this smuggling.
The comptroller disclosed that 16 suspects have been arrested in connection with the seizures. He later handed over the pharmaceutical drugs and the Indian hemp to representatives of the National Food and Drug Administration and Control NAFDAC and Nigerian Drug Law and Enforcement Agency, respectively, for further investigations.
We can say maybe with 60–70% certainty that they are fake products. But eventually we are going to confirm that, and these culprits will be definitely dealt with.
This seizure has denied thousands of youths access to these illicit drugs, and many lives have been saved.
Comptroller Obar Garuba wants smugglers and those involved in illicit trade to desist, as the Nigerian Customs Service is more determined to cripple their activities. In Lagos, Jane Ojuku, NTA News.
Effective and regular training have been described as a veritable tool for improving efficiency of officers and men of the Nigerian Army. To combat insecurity in the country, Commanding Officer 81 Division, Major General Peter Dauke, stated this at the opening ceremony of the 81 Division Officers Combat Proficiency Competition in Lagos. Abolade Salami has the details.
The Army, in its quest to rid the country of insecurity and acts of terrorism, is engaging officers and men in combat proficiency training and tactical orders to cope these challenges. Commanding Officer 81 Division, Major General Peter Dauke, represented by the Commander 55 Division, Signals, Brigadier General Daniel Adeyemi, said the combat proficiency exercise is aimed at promoting a secured environment and encourage officers' qualities of courage, willpower, physical fitness, and endurance skills.
It is therefore essential to develop our officers' physical and mental robustness, ensure that they are capable of applying the rudiments of military training in order to develop their powers of judgment, because knowing when and how to act is important to mission success at all levels.
Commander 9th Brigade, Brigadier General Atu, said the combat proficiency will help build a formidable troop towards ensuring a robust and efficient army.
Combat proficiency competition is directed at improving leadership quality of junior commanders to prepare them for higher responsibilities.
High point of the ceremony was the oath taking by participating officers in the exercise. The training will avail officers within the rank of second lieutenant and major the opportunity to improve their skills on night navigation, combat swimming, shooting and arms competition, as well as obstacle and physical fitness. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
The increasing rate of mental instability and depression among Nigerians has received the attention of mental health experts who are rubbing minds in Lagos on how to tackle this social burden. Lynn Lenike reports that the forum is meant to identify causes and appropriate treatment for mental ailments in the country.
Rising cases of heinous crimes such as murder, kidnapping, child abuse, rape, insurgency, and reckless looting of public funds have often been identified with people widely believed to allegedly have mental imbalance, which may not be presented obviously in the affected persons, and finding appropriate means of handling such cases are some of the objectives of this forum.
We seem to undermine the huge effect mental health has
on our total well-being. I think that those are the reasons why we considered this work and emotional balance conference.
Experts say handling cases of mental imbalance is multifaceted and requires appropriate social platforms that will remove societal stress and burden from sufferers.
From us at the Mental Health Foundation, what we are after is about looking at the issues of fighting stigma and discrimination, which exposes one to mental illness, and keeping this, making sure that people don't keep quiet, and advocating for issues, policy issues that affect persons in that space.
In this part of the world, because they don't know about it, it has been more of something more spiritual than mental. So we are trying to raise awareness to let people know that, okay, this is not spiritual, this is something mental, and it is here right there. So we are going to do something about it.
It is the consensus of opinions at this forum that any strategy being adopted for treatment must include social inclusion of people with disabilities, emotional and mental depression, as well as those in the abject poverty levels. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Well, those are top stories at this hour from Lagos. It's back to you, Lydia, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Demola. Welcome back to Lagos, to Abuja. The federal government has declared Friday 1st and Monday the 4th September 2017 as public holidays to mark Eid al-Kabir celebration. The Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General retired Abdurrahman Bello Dambazal, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulates Muslim faithful and all Nigerians to use the occasion to pray for peace, unity, prosperity, and the stability of the country's democracy. General Dambazal further urged all Nigerians to join hands with the government of President Muhammadu Buhari in its avowed determination to build a peaceful and harmonious country. The minister assured citizens of their safety in all parts of the country, emphasizing that security agencies have been directed to maintain the peace and protect lives and property. The use of jackets by the Nigerian Hajj officials in Saudi Arabia is one measure reintroduced by the National Hajj Commission as a way of rendering services to the pilgrims in this year's Hajj. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports from Medina, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
It's only during occasion that you see a group of people wearing the same type of attire in Nigeria for solidarity or easy identification. It is called Ashobi or Anko and other names depending on where the group comes from.
From time immemorial, Nigerian pilgrims, their state officials, and indeed those of other nations in Saudi Arabia have been using uniforms and any unique appearance outside the period of Hajj rites for easy identification by pilgrims in cases of lost or emergencies. Though even before now, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria had a jacket with green, white, green colors with its name inscribed on it. The usage was not sufficient. However, the present leadership of the Commission has now directed the staff to always wear it to render services not only to the pilgrims, but state officials who may need immediate assistance. Pilgrims interviewed said, for now, officials are living up to their responsibilities.
The coordinator, they are very, very good. They make so many arrangements.
The pilgrims said the measure considerably reduces the issue of lost and makes the presence of Hajj Commission more visible. In Medina, Saudi Arabia, Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
From Medina, we now go to Mina. Property worth millions of naira have been destroyed in Niger State following a multiple accident involving two tankers laden with petrol and other articulated vehicles conveying cows and detergents. Jones Ajayi reports that 20 shops were also destroyed in the inferno, but no human life was lost.
Batati community in Lavun local government area of Niger State was at a standstill following the multiple accident. The first one was said to have occurred when a petrol tanker loaded with 33,000 liters of PMS collided with a truck loaded with toilet soap, while the second was between a trailer conveying cows and a parked tanker. The accident led to the inferno that claimed the lives of 20 cows as they were roasted alive, and more than 20 shops were destroyed. Men of the fire service were on ground to put out the fire, while policemen were also around to provide security, and men of the Federal Road Safety Corps were also on ground to ensure smooth traffic flow. The State Commissioner of Police also visited the scene.
While we are clearing the way and the traffic is already flowing.
The accident caused gridlock along Bida Batati and Batati Mokwa Road for several hours. Some of the victims of the inferno who spoke to NTA News called on government at all levels to come to their aid as they have lost their means of livelihood. Acting Chairman, Lavun Local Government Council, Zubairu Mohammed, described the accident as a great loss beyond the council, but gave assurance that the issue will be tabled before appropriate authorities. The district head of the area, Abdullahi Umar, blamed the accident on recklessness of the drivers and appealed to government to provide speed breakers. Meanwhile, motorists plying the Mina Junction in Bidda through to Ilorin Garage Road are going through tough times as trailers and tankers have taken over the road. In Bidda, Jones Ajayi, NTA News.
Celebrations continue for the safe return of President Muhammadu Buhari as efforts intensify to boost agriculture. For details of this and other reports, let's join Zile in Kaduna. Zile, over to you.
Good evening and welcome to Kaduna. Agriculture is one sector of the federal government is counting on to diversify the economy in Nigeria. Tomato production is one among many windows of opportunities open to help revamp the economy, explaining why the Raw Materials Research Development Council is out to enhance its production through distribution of improved seeds. Austin Aibe reports.
Presently, the importation of tomato paste into the country costs Nigeria 16 billion naira annually.
Nigeria is ranked as the largest producer of tomato in sub-Saharan Africa and 13th in the world, with an annual national domestic demand estimated at 2.4 million metric tons. Only 1.7 million tons is produced annually. This leaves a deficit of about 700,000 metric tons due to the cultivation of existing low-yielding varieties and high post-harvest losses. The deficit breached through imports of tomato paste and its other value-added products, with its attendant strain on the economy, explaining why the Raw Materials Research Development Council is distributing improved tomato seeds to farmers across the country.
The federal government has already agreed that tomato is one of the commodities that must be improved because we are spending a lot of money on importation of tomato products.
At the presentation of improved tomato seeds to vegetable farmers in Kaduna, the council said they have facilitated farmers access to improved seeds.
We can do small innovations, small machines that the farmers can produce and also process and also keep for some time before they can sell.
Kaduna State has ecology for tomato production, and the target is 500 vegetable farmers under this project. In Kaduna, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
The National Broadcasting Commission has called on media organizations to guard against unethical practices of accommodating fake and hate speeches in their daily bulletins. The Director General of National Broadcasting Commission, Ishak Modibo Kawu, stated this at the workshop on national unity and the role of broadcast media in Kaduna. Muhammad Umar Ajingi has the details.
In recent times, the political atmosphere in Nigeria has been characterized by hate and dangerous speeches which are not healthy for the development of the nation. This is why the regulatory body brought together media professionals to brainstorm on ways of ensuring such instigative comments are not in any way accommodated in what they dish out to the public.
We have a situation now whereby you find broadcasters who are also politicians managing public service or even private radio and television stations. They are easily compromised.
Sadly, many reporters are left to fend for themselves, holding their identity cards as meal tickets and their recorders as tools to be exploited.
Ishak Modibo Kawu is the Director General of the Commission.
Citizens posting their views on social media is part of a democratic development of society. But the issue is how responsible is some of this material that are posted Now, for broadcast stations, they must be very, very careful in sourcing materials from the social media.
Stakeholders called on owners of media outfits to pay more than casual attention to improving the welfare of their staff to avoid external influence. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umarajingi, NTA News.
Governor Muhammad Badaru Abubakar of Jigawa State has urged Nigerians to continue to support President Muhammadu Buhari to consolidate on the good work he has started. The governor was speaking shortly after the president's return from a medical vacation in London. Awal Muhammad reports.
I express optimism that the Buhari-led administration will continue to better the life of Nigerians, especially in the areas of agriculture, security, education, youth empowerment, and infrastructural development. He said government and people of Jigawa State will continue to support the president to consolidate on the good work he has started.
To continue good work in security, corruption, and economic development. I'm sure the president is ready more than before to tackle these challenges and push forward.
Meanwhile, residents of Duse, Jigawa State capital, have joined millions of Nigerians to welcome President Muhammadu Buhari home after his medical vacation in United Kingdom.
When I heard it that he was coming, we were so happy because he gave us the peace. He made us to realize that what we vote for is not in vain.
Very happy with the coming back of our president, and we need him at least to work harder again, more than the way he is doing before.
We are very grateful the president is back and well and hearty, and we wish him the best and to continue where he stopped before he fell sick.
Awal Muhammad Kazauri, NTA News.
In the spirit of the 10 days of Hajj, a Kaduna-based non-governmental organization has donated cash and toiletries to some communities to alleviate their suffering. Fatima Tenkokuta has the details.
It is the tradition of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during his lifetime to step up good deeds like assisting the needy, recitation of the Holy Quran, among others. The gesture by Al-Hisan Foundation was to follow the footsteps of the Prophet by reaching out with assistance to some deserving members of the society. Barrow Diko Teaching Hospital in Kaduna was the first point of call, where some amount of money and toiletries were donated to patients on admission.
God will replenish their pockets in 100-folds.
This thing will help us a lot, so we thank God and we thank you people.
The foundation was also at KK Wahayim Dambushia in Chikun local government area with the same mission, where one of the beneficiaries was a woman with 6 children whose husband was declared missing for 6 years. Hadiza Zaki speaks on their motivation.
In the first 10 of Zulhijjah, the benefits of the month, that is good that we do something like this. We visit some people in the hospital to give them some toiletries for their use in the hospitals, and also to come to this community, cook for the people to eat.
The foundation was established to render humanitarian assistance to the needy. In Kaduna, I am Fatima Tonkokuta, NTA News.
And that's our beat from here. We're back to Lydia in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Zule. Women in Africa are championing the cause of increased girl-child education in the continent for gender equality and full participation in all ramifications of life without bias. Women under the auspices of West Africa Women in Education Network converged on Abuja to chart a way forward for the cause. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu completes the report.
Girl-child education in Africa has remained a challenge due to gender neglect, poverty, underage marriage, dropout as a result of unwanted pregnancies, retention, cultural and religious beliefs. Available statistics shows that more than 49 million girls are out of primary and post-primary schools in the sub-Saharan Africa, and 10.5 million children in Nigeria are also out of school, with 60% as girl child. Although most African countries have made commitments to guarantee compulsory primary and post-primary education for the girl child, the political will to achieve the said objective continues to be a challenge. Worried by this development, members of the West African Women in Education Network converge on Abuja to evolve strategies to actualize full girl child education in the continent.
Part of the objective is to sensitize the entire countries in West Africa that the girl child education is key to national development.
We have met to advocate, to train and build the capacity of union leaders so that when they understand gender equality, they will be able to support women, give us their goodwill.
The meeting brought together representatives from West African countries to chart a new course for the actualization of the said objective. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
Inculcating in the younger generation virtues of discipline, hard work and responsibility are key to sustaining Nigeria's unity and safeguarding her future. This was the standpoint of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Women of the Anglican Communion Abuja Diocese. Momso Damien Dati reports.
In recent times, families are faced with diverse challenges threatening their survival. High rates of divorce, social vices among children, promiscuity, increasing cases of rape and the likes, all degenerating from an individual level to the larger society, hence affecting the entire polity. Addressing these challenges for a better Nigeria prompted the Sisters Guild of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, Abuja Diocese, to interface with women and young ladies. The aim is to remind them of their crucial roles as wives, mothers, peacemakers and nation builders, and inculcate the virtues, norms and values required in the younger generation to become responsible future leaders.
To be a submissive woman to me is just obey what God wants you to do in that your home. Obey him, even if the man is not acting well. You have the right to go to God in prayers.
Nuclear family is the nucleus of the society, and the devil is attacking it left, right, and center. And the women must take cognizance of this.
While the meeting centered on building tomorrow's ideal women, the participants were also empowered with diverse skills to become self-reliant and employers of labor for national growth and development. In Abuja, Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Governor Nyesom Wike appeals for calm on the outcome of court orders. Let's join Mina in Port Harcourt for the next set of reports. Hello, Mina. Take it from here.
Hello, Lydia. Good afternoon and welcome to Port Harcourt. Critical economic and political issues as well as security in the South-South and Southeast regions were the major resolutions addressed at the end of their meeting over the weekend at Port Harcourt. Ogedi Nyekwere reports that the governors expressed concern that despite providing necessary logistic support to security agencies, insecurity has continued in the two regions.
The meeting was to further reinforce resolutions reached on the issues of interregional cooperation, integration, as well as charting veritable means of social and economic growth of the two regions. Chairman of the forum and Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, said the forum will continue to subscribe their faith to the destiny and greatness of Nigeria, work together politically as a people.
We also touched on certain issues concerning the current review of Constitution. Well resolved that we must do everything possible to protect lives and assets of our people and let people have that confidence that they can go about their normal duties unmolested.
Earlier, Governor Wike in his address noted that the two regions share cultural affinity and similar challenges ranging from insecurity, poverty, environmental degradation and underdevelopment.
None of the airports and seaports located in our regions is reasonably functional, Even the few federal roads are not in good shape. Neither are the two regions linked by any rail services.
The forum will reconvene in Owerri, Imo State on Sunday, the 8th of October 2017. In Port Harcourt, Oge Dinyekwe, NTA News.
The senator-elect for Rivers East Senatorial District, Chief Andrew Uchendo, says he will devote his time in office to championing the interests of the voiceless, the less privileged, and giving back to the state in service delivery. Chief Uchendo was speaking shortly on arrival from Abuja after he was declared winner of the December 10th rerun election by the Court of Appeal. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
For the APC leadership, this grand faithful this day is an indication that the party has been reinvigorated, preparatory for the next general elections.
When we're telling the world that APC is on ground in Rivers State, people never believe it. But what this victory has come to tell the APC family is to tell them that APC, you really need to work more.
It didn't come at a better time because APC has come to stay in Rivers State.
The senator-elect was delighted for the steadfastness of APC members while the legal battle lasted, enjoining them to look forward for even development in his senatorial district.
I will represent the voice of the voiceless. I'm going to represent the homeless. I'm going to represent the hungry. I therefore dedicate my victory at the polls and indeed at the Court of Appeal to reconciliation and peace in the state.
He was later treated to a grand reception at his country home, Mboitanwo, in Emoha local government area. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
The Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has appealed to stakeholders from Kiribe's Nation, the hometown of Senator George Sekibo, to remain calm and accept the outcome of the appeal court judgment that displaced Senator Sekibo of the PDP in good faith. The governor made the appeal when he received stakeholders from the Kirikibeze Nation, comprising people of Okirika and the Ogugbolo local government areas of River State at the Government House, Port Harcourt. Ogedinyekwe completes the report.
Following the recent appeal court judgment that displaced Senator George Thompson Sekebo of the People's Democratic Party, the People's Democratic Party members in the state, especially those of the Krikabese extraction, are not pleased with the judgment. Governor Wike, who met with the stakeholders from Okrika and Ogugbolo local government areas over the development, appealed to them not to lose confidence in the judiciary as it remains the last hope of the common man.
I want to appeal to you. I know how pain you are. I know how you are feeling. But know that is gone.
Senator George Thompson Sekebo noted that he has worked with several governors, but the support of Governor Wike in sustaining election victory is second to none.
We will stand by him. We will give all our support in the rain, in the sun, in the night, in the day.
His Royal Majesty King Nicholas Nemnabo and Abie Sekebo assured that the Krikabese Nation is not discouraged but will continue to stand by the governor and his administration. In Port Harcourt, Oge Dinyekwe, NTA News.
That's the contribution from Port Harcourt. Lydia, it's back to you for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Mina. This is Nationwide on the NTA. We'll now take a break. We'll return after these commercials.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Government's initiative on poverty alleviation. What are the opportunities and how do they work? Find out on this week's edition of Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live promises to be exciting, informative, and educating. Join us.
National Council for Arts and Culture, Abuja presents 10th African Arts Crafts Expo, AFAC Expo 2017, the biggest arts and crafts expo in Africa. Theme, Nigerian crafts, the untapped treasure. Date, 27th August to 17th September 2017. Venue, Arts and Crafts Village, beside Sheraton Hotel and Yaradua Center, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. daily. AFAC presents a unique platform for artists, crafts dealers, manufacturers, and other stakeholders to buy, sell, and promote products from Nigeria and other African countries. For more information, please call Chinwe on 0803-321-7724, Gerald on 0802-3345-301. National Council for Arts and Culture, our pride. Otumba Olusegun Ronshewe, Director General, Announcer.
What manner of man wakes up in the morning, eats breakfast, gets dressed, and goes out with the sole purpose of duping his clients?
Where the dollar now? Make I check them now.
Now why?
Supposing if it is fake.
They are everywhere. The bad apples who spoil the rest. They can shortchange you. They also swap your good currency and give you counterfeits.
These people are criminal.
They are the bad money changers, mostly on the roadsides.
And they don't even get office address.
Honesty means nothing to them.
You know that happened like this. Where's my money?
Watch Prophet John Bull this week and see how this rot manifests, even as you laugh like never before.
Eh? Buddha, come and separate us now. You're not a serious minded fighter. By now, if I don't see a person,
Over and out. Brought to you by Glow.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
Experience the beauty of life and nature like never before. With the new StarTimes Full HD 1080p Real High Definition TV. Enjoy an exquisite super slim design with a real surround sound experience. Watch the biggest blockbusters on over 200 plus channels. Available in 32 and 40 inches from 69,900 Naira at leading shopping outlets across the country. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped. We are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime. We bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Welcome back. This is Nationwide. Thank you for standing by. The Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has challenged local government councils in the state to develop sustainable revenue generation and budgeting system with a view to meet their constitutional responsibilities. The governor gave the charge during a meeting with chairmen and directors from the 16 local government councils at Government House in Ilorin. Abdul Hafiz Alaya has details.
Governor Ahmed emphasized that for proper and effective planning, local government councils must develop a well-structured budget that clearly reflects their expenditures and expected incomes. This, according to him, will enable them to focus on exploring other sources of revenue and guarantee accountability. The governor maintained that the era of relying on federal allocation to pay salaries is gone. Hence, the need for would-be local government chairmen to look inward and broaden their capacity to generate revenue.
It requires your own effort to add to the money that is coming in from the federation allocation and state to be able to carry on your responsibility. But it starts with the council chairman, who must recognize that he has a need to drive that revenue.
He thereby encouraged the 16 local councils to partner with the Kwara State Internal Revenue Service in driving revenues for them to be self-reliant in the payment of salaries and provision of basic social amenities at the grassroots. In Ilorin, Abdelafiz Alaya, NTA News.
And from Jos, Ndeyang and the Yaba Gang reports that in its quest to improve the health of livestock and by extension human beings, the National Veterinary Research Institute VOM has in the last 14 years produced 1.5 billion doses of vaccines. The report.
Established about 90 years ago, the National Veterinary Research Institute, initially to control rinderpest, now has 5 mandates, which include to conduct research in all aspects of animal diseases, their treatment and control, develop and produce animal vaccines, cereal and biologicals to meet national demand, as well as provide surveillance and diagnosis of animal disease. This became necessary in view of the fact that 60% of diseases that affect man comes from animals.
Over the years, we have made tremendous progress. Currently, we produce 16 different types of vaccines. With some recent new addition.
The Institute develops and produces over 100 million doses of bacterial and viral vaccines annually.
We have the anti-rabies vaccines for dogs and for cats. Then we have the infectious muscle disease, popularly known as Gumboro.
We have Pan-African vaccine in Ethiopia. PAMBAC regulates all these biologicals with vaccines in Africa. So we also send our products to PAMBAC for quality checks.
Recently, we incorporated a company called VOM Biological Products Limited. That is a process of commercialization.
When fully functional, these projects will impact positively on animal health, especially those that are of zoonotic importance. In Jos, Nigerian and the Abuja, NTA News.
For stories trending on the global scene, Uche Nwizu is standing by.
Hello and welcome. We begin this segment on environmental issues. Kenyan government has commenced the enforcement of the ban on manufacturing, selling and carrying of plastic bags after years of delay. Offenders are liable to pay fines of $38,000 or 4 years in prison. This development did not go down well with manufacturers who argued that about 80,000 jobs could be lost. A court had earlier rejected a challenge to the ban. In the meantime, thousands of people have been ordered to safety as one of Houston's main rivers overflow its bank in the grip of the biggest storm in the history of state of Texas. 5 people are reported dead. Roads turned into rivers as Hurricane Harvey intensifies. Emergency services struggle to cope. Reports from China says India has withdrawn troops from a disputed Himalayan border area, ending weeks-long row. Foreign ministries of both countries confirmed troops were disengaging at Loklam after agreements between them. The row began in mid-June when India opposed a Chinese attempt to extend a border road on the plateau. And a controversial Indian guru convicted of rape on Friday has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Reports say his followers had set a vehicle on fire before the sentencing, and about 38 people had died in the violence that erupted after Friday's verdict in Panchkula. Gurmeet Ram Singh, who claims to have millions of disciples, was found guilty of raping 2 women in 2002. That's a wrap on this segment. I am Uche Nwizu. The news continues shortly.
And now sports. Nigerians commend the victorious the Tigresses as top seeds begin quest for glory at the U.S. Open. Dinde Sani is our guide on Sports Update.